Hi y'all, I'm Chase, and this is my 2017 Road King with a Milwaukee-Eight 107, affectionately known as Alice, and today we are going to be doing some handlebar work. Got a little bit of a shake shimmy, you can kind of see them moving around. It's going to be a little bit more involved than say doing like, I don't know, unfair dyna or something, but yeah, we are going to replace handlebar bushings, and we are going to go with Alloy Arts Gooden-Tite handlebar bushings. These are recommended by Cruzy Originals. They're kind of expensive. I think they might be the most expensive handlebar bushings there are, but everybody seems to rave about them, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start taking this apart. I need to take the windshield off, and I'll show you where the points are that you need to, take stuff apart to get to a Road King's to the handlebar bushings. They are kind of buried and everything is smoothed out, so you have to actually take off this trim ring right here, the headlight, this little strip right here, this one right here. You have to take that off, and then underneath that there will be a screw, and then you can take this off, I think. So let's get to that, and when I come back, hopefully I will have that stuff done. Right here. That's the first thing, that's the first screw you got to take out. Unfortunately, you can't just take that screw out because this little bar is in the way. So the first thing you have to do is loosen this bolt, or this nut, and this nut. I put a little mark there with a magic marker. That comes off with a little bit of alcohol, so plus it's shiny, shouldn't stick on there. But yeah, that's the first thing you got to do. All right, there's two ways you can take this headlight off. There's 4 bolts here. No, 3. I guess there's 3 bolts. But unfortunately, if you screw with these bolts right here, this little one right there, there's one there. If you screw with those, there's a little spring behind it. That tilts your headlight, tilts it back and forth, so you're either pointing up or down. If you screw with those, you're going to screw with the angle of your light. So what I did was I took off all the little screws that go around, which takes a little bit longer, but I didn't have to screw with, well, those adjustment bolts. So I think that was a better idea. It takes a little bit longer, but it seems to have worked. Next we'll go inside and I'll try to show you guys where the next screw is. So I just took the headlight unit off all in one piece. I left the lights in because I tried to get these little clips off, but yeah, they weren't moving. So under here there's another screw right in there. I don't know if you can see it, it's very small in here, my finger's on it. So you'll have to take that off, and it looks like there's another one in the back also. That sucks. So we're gonna have to take that one out of there. That'll take me a little while, and then I'll get back to you guys. Okay. All right, what I took off was just a nut, and then this whole sliver came off the top here. So now all that's left is this little screw right here. There is a nut on the bottom. I will have to hold that with a 5/16 wrench, and then this top cover should come off. I'm not sure how it's going to work with the lock up here. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we'll see. All right, to remove this the fork lock cover, this little, I don't know what you want to call it, accent piece, you have to pop this little cover off. See, I used a very smooth screwdriver with a piece of plastic wrapped over it so I wouldn't scratch this, and yeah, I didn't want to scratch it up. And then there's 2 screws right here you got to take out, and the whole thing should just come right off. So I'll be back in a second and show you guys what it looks like. All right, and we're there. Now, these are your 4 bolts you'll have to take out to pull the handlebars off, but I don't need to pull the handlebars off. Mostly what I need to get to are the 2 bolts underneath, because the whole thing needs to come off. Now I'm going to wrap my tank and everything. I brought some towels in I'm gonna wrap that and then gently set the bars down on that stuff so I don't scratch it up like no tomorrow. But the bolts are underneath here. They are fairly easy to get to. They're right here. I'll be right back. Let's see if we can get these off. I got them out, the bolts. Looks like they had some red Loctite on them. I'm going to be putting blue Loctite on them because, well, I don't know what kind of Loctite they're using, but I know blue will usually work pretty good. I'm going to pop these riser bushings out, and then we'll start putting everything back together. If you want to know if your riser bushings are deformed, try pulling them out and see how deformed that looks. That's probably means that it's bad. It's still got some sponginess to it, but it deformed as I was pulling it out, and it hasn't reset back. So I'm guessing it. You can feel it's real hard, kind of crusty feeling. So that's probably not good. Well, we're going to install these handlebar bushings, these Gooden-Tite alloy art handlebar bushings. These are what the old ones look like. They're split with one ring in the middle. The bushings are separate. There's a little collar in the middle. The Gooden-Tites don't come that way. They're actually solid pieces. So this should tighten it up, but also take away a lot of vibration. So instead of having it all separate and moving around, it's literally just two pieces instead of, well, let's see, three on each side. There's the cover, the collar or center, and then there's another cover. So you have three pieces moving around. On this you only have two, so that should take some of the vibration out. We'll see. Before I put all this back together, I did want to mention one thing. If you're going to use the Gooden-Tite riser bushings, I think that well, you're gonna have to get 2 1/4 inch bolts. I went to Harley's site and it says they use grade 5. I guess you could use grade 8, but apparently no store anywhere around me carries grade 8 bolts anymore. So yeah, that's a problem. At least it's a problem you're going to run into. So I was able to find some grade 5 2 1/4 inch bolts, but I might change them out. But they're easy enough to get to. They're literally just right under here. I can take them out one at a time and just pop new ones in at my leisure. Everything else is tightened up. I'm putting on putting Loctite on everything because it's a Harley and they rattle. So I blew everything off because there was quite a bit of dust. Mostly I think it was from all the Loctite that was on all the bolts, so dust got everywhere. But that's about it. Really, it's just kind of a pain in the butt because I couldn't find 2 1/4 and I thought 2 1/2 would be good enough. It's not. You just get 2 1/4 bolts. They're 2 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch by 13 thread pitch. So that should save you some time. It didn't. I didn't know. I knew they were 1/2 inch by 13, but I thought I could get away with 1/2 inch. But after looking and knowing that the bolts are going to literally crush, they're going to crush down those riser bushings. I just couldn't go with the 1/2 inch, so I went with the 2 1/4 like it says on the back right here. Touring models will now require a 2 1/4 inch length riser bolt. Yeah, I wish I would have seen that before I got started taking stuff apart, but that's the way stuff happens. I'm gonna get this back together. We'll take a look at it after I'm done, and that should be it. All right, here she is, all put back together. I didn't even take the towels off yet. Got everything shined up with the one of my microfiber cloths. Everything went back together fairly easy. A little bit of trouble with this little accent piece right here. There's a screw in the back to hold down this cover. It says Road King, this thing. And it is hard to get to. I ended up using a pair of needle nose pliers to hold the nut, and then I stacked the the washer on top of that, and then just gingerly as I possibly could stuck it in there and ran the screw through, and finally it caught. And no cross-threading, none of that stuff. So right now the bolts for the handlebars, it says they're supposed to be tightened down 30 to 40 foot-pounds of torque. I put them at 30, but I seem to remember someone, I think it was Cruzy, Ryan Cruzy, he has a channel, he's a professional, so not like me, I'm an idiot. But I seem to remember someone, I would swear it was him, saying that he torqued them down, and then he would come back later, and this was on the Gooden-Tites, and then re-torque them again a day later. So that is what I'm going to do. It's not like I can go outside and go riding or anything like that now, because, well, it's still early March and it's just trashed outside. So let's get these towels off. I did take every single one of the bolts out of the little clamp in here, took every single one of them out, put every single one of them back in, retorque them with Loctite. Everything on this where I took it apart is Loctite. Everything got some Loctite. I mean everything. So yeah, I just wanted to be sure that nothing was going to come apart. Well, I think that's about it, honestly. We'll see how they work out, but I can already tell just by the feel. I mean, I gave them a little... Yeah, those are... Oh boy, there's like no flex. And I only have them at 30 foot-pounds right now. I'm going to come back and I'm going to torque them about halfway between 30 and 40 because it says 30 to 40 foot-pounds of torque. I'll do a review after I've went for a ride. I can't go right now. It's like I said, it's March. It's like 40 degrees outside. It just hit March, so I think that's going to be it. Yeah. Overall, it went together about how it usually goes for me. It's a pain in the butt, but I persevere and get it done because I'm not I don't quit easily. Like, comment, subscribe, flick that ding-a-ling to be notified of any new videos I come out with, and bye y'all.